Hello, hello. This is the 36th Test from the Future, an experimental podcast from the year 2221, which you are trying to send back in time as far as possible. My name is Dirk.
My name is Simon.
And we're putting the past in podcast. So there we are again in the year 2221, just to make sure, because I messed that up.
Slip of the tongue.
And it's another week, it's another episode. And this week we are going to talk about
telekinesis. Which is my my main interest at the moment. It's something I've been training in the last few years. So sure, I'll be talking in great detail about that.
Nice. Looking forward to that, because it's definitely something that I don't know so much about. But first, I thought we can take a look at our user emails, because we got a whole bunch. Mm-hmm. So first, I was really excited.
Sure. For the longest time, we either got nothing or just like one.
And exactly. But just to make sure, you can definitely email us.
Yeah. Shall I say? So please do. If you're hearing this, please send an email to michaellasagna5@gmail.com, and in the subject, put the number 36.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly the 36, because then we know that's the episode you listen to, and then the email will sit there for 200 years,
and we'll get to it.
Exactly, we'll read it and we'll answer it in the show. I got really excited when I saw, suddenly there was a bunch of emails that popped up that weren't there before, and they were all from Sally.
The same Sally.
The same Sally as last time. We spoke about a job from the past that we didn't know anything about, being performance specialist. And she sent us one email last time explaining it. We didn't understand. She sent us a whole bunch more. Thank you, Sally. We're not going to read any of those.
Not out here, not for other people to listen. We, of course, have read them and appreciate them.
Yeah.
And still don't quite understand. But thank you. And
I think that's all you can do.
Yeah. We're missing too much context.
I think so too. But I'm happy you're enjoying your job. At least you're really passionate about it. Then I thought, telekinesis. It's maybe interesting to the listeners in the year 2021.
We figured, 200 years ago, so 2020 or 2021.
Yeah.
For as far as we know, it's a recent development that we can, on purpose, train in telekinesis and develop those skills and to make use of them. And there have been stories, fairy tales, myths of it as a power, as an idea. But as far as our records show, it didn't exist before 20 years ago. And that's what I'm training in now. And shall I go a bit more into how we even can do it? For me it would be interesting, because I know you can train it, but I understood that not everybody can. This is what we know so far. So I've been training in this for the last 3 years, and what it requires, or at least as we understand it, what it requires is that you have had in your body a cyborg chip, and you've been making constant use of it for at least 80 years. So before there were cyborg chips, at least the technique we know for developing telekinesis didn't exist. So you need to have had one in your body for 80 years and been making use of it the whole time, not just letting it sit there dormant. And once that's happened, so say, I'm 109. So when I was 106, that's when I had one in my body for 80 years.
Ah, okay.
And at that point, I was able to begin. And when someone's ready, they think, they met the requirements, you've got the chip on you. Still doesn't mean necessarily that you'll be able to use telekinesis. But when you want to, they take you to a place far out in the middle of nowhere for you to try it out. Because when it works, as it did in my case, the first thing you do is pretty spectacular. Basically, they tell you, okay, look at this rock over there. There's a big boulder in the distance. You look at it, you twitch your eye a little bit, and in my case, the whole rock exploded.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just like that?
Just like that. It was impressive and terrifying and very strange.
Okay.
I can't really put into words how it felt, but you can imagine how it looked, at least, seeing this rock far away explode.
But I couldn't do it.
I mean, have you had your chip in you for 80 years?
No.
Maybe when you have, you'll be able to. That's the interesting. So I'm going to jump around a little bit. It was discovered by accident. It wasn't intentional that people would develop telekinesis. And what turned out is that it was a bug in the software update for the Cyborg chip.
That I heard. That was originally a bug.
Originally a bug. And it turned out basically it was a feedback loop that after 80 years of the chip doing its work, that it just built up too much too many log files, and it overflowed, and then, oh no, now you've got telekinesis. And the problem was, without training, that was very destructive. Very spectacular and very destructive and very dangerous. So it was a very dangerous bug, and as soon as that was worked out, it was patched to stop, and obviously anyone who had been affected were taken far away to make sure that if they had it, that they could control it. And that's where the training came in, because once you have it, it doesn't go away. It's actually part of your body, which is the interesting thing. You still have the chip, of course, to regulate your health as usual. But even in experiments where they took away the chip, the people still had the telekinetic powers.
But it means that, so if it's patched now, then now by default people won't be getting it, but they can be allowed.
Yep. Right. Originally it was this weird log file building up thing that was a mistake. By now it can be triggered, but what's interesting is your body needs to have been using the chip for 80 years. That seems to be the cutoff. Any younger, you don't get telekinesis.
Okay, so I got mine, I think, pretty soon after birth, but I'm 69, so
you got some time to go.
And that's even if I get there, I would still need to have it installed or allowed or opened up or patched.
Permitted, right? Yeah. Exactly. They need to unlock the ability, because this could mean that everyone, when they've had a chip in them for 80 years, could train in this. Not everyone wants to. It's pretty thorough training. It takes up a lot of time. It's 6 days, 6 hours a day.
Wow.
6 days a week.
Put you on sabbatical.
Exactly. It's not the kind of thing you can do with a full-time job. You need to be able to focus on it. And not everyone wants to. Either to do that work in the first place or don't want the end result of having telekinetic powers, because, at least for some people, why even do that?
But what's the practical use?
Right. What's the training? So originally the training was just to make it less dangerous, because having people walking around making things explode by accident is dangerous. The training is to be able to fine tune it, to control it, and the practical use, to be able to use it for things, not just destructive things, but really fine-tune things. For example, some people focus on surgery, where there are some things that even our cyborg chips can't heal in our bodies, and you still need some. Well, so with telekinesis, with training, you can manipulate the cells directly.
Wow!
Much more finely than even a cyborg chip can.
I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah, and that's a combination. So sure, the person doing it is a telekinetic. Then they also need to be looking through goggles so that they can actually see inside the body and what they're doing. A great magnification.
Wow!
Because just being able to move something isn't so helpful if you can't see what you're doing.
Yeah, it can be pretty dangerous. As it's the only moments I've seen actual telekinesis is at lake parties.
Sure.
So remember, what's his name? The tall guy with the blue hair.
Ronald?
Yeah, Ronald, exactly. I think he must have had training as well.
If he wasn't just blowing up stuff, then he had training, yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, he was just throwing rocks in the lake, but with not touching them.
Yeah,
I mean, we were all throwing rocks in the lake, and he was just doing it without touching them.
Right, without using his hands.
Yeah, and then when the fire at the barbecue was how he was basically putting branches back on the fire, not touching them. But it seemed more like a gimmick than really practical.
I mean, so because maybe it sounds like some people, they start the training and they progress to the point where they're not a danger, then they can, of course, continue with their regular lives as before, and that's all they want. They don't want to pursue either medical training or some other, really fine-grained training. For some people, it's more like a hobby. They're old enough, they've had the chip long enough, they figure, hey, this will be a fun thing to do. I'm on sabbatical anyway. It obviously helps you with focus. In other, you have to trained so vigorously for telekinesis, that then that helps you in other aspects of your life.
Okay.
And then for some people, that's where they stop with it, and then then you're at around a lake, at a campfire, and you can have fun with it.
I can just imagine,
But he didn't talk about it?
No.
It seems to be the thing where a lot of people, when they train in it, they really want to tell you about it.
I've seen it several times, but it was a massive amount of people there.
Sure.
I was at a different campfire, so the first time I just saw it. Second time I just happened to be there, but I wasn't really actually talking to him. So, to be honest, I didn't really know him that well. It's just with his blue hair, he's kind of...
Yeah, I didn't... I knew him from the blue hair, from your description. I didn't even know that he had the telekinetic powers.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of people, and then I know you're officially not even supposed to use it in public, right? Is that true?
Right. You shouldn't... Yeah, you shouldn't use it that it's obvious. Mm-hmm. So, say you see someone's about to cross the road and they're going to get hit by a car. Mm-hmm. Okay, you can move them out the way, because otherwise what are you even doing? You have the ability to, and you're not going to do it. You're going to feel bad. They're going to feel pretty bad. So, but you're not meant to go around doing like magic tricks with it.
Okay.
Showing off.
I think it's a good thing that you only get to be able to do it after a certain age.
With some maturity, yeah.
Exactly.
In your case, you get the chip at birth. You still have to be 80 years old before you even can. It's not like you're just turning 13, 14 and all kinds of confused and then getting the ability.
I can just imagine kids.
Yeah.
Or actually, I can just imagine my great-grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Would she not be able to control it?
No, that's actually a fair point. She's actually pretty healthy still, mm-hmm. but she likes to fool around too. So
I see. That's something we haven't, because it's only been 20 years that this has been fully understood. The people who have it and are trained in it are still healthy. They can control it, no problem. It's something we will need to deal with in the future when presumably we're too old and can't control it anymore. We'll need to see what happens. I understand this research going in, because so not everyone wants this. Mm-hmm. Yeah? You develop it, you have it, okay, but maybe you don't want it anymore. So there is research into how to disable it, how to remove it from people who want it. And that presumably would also be useful for when people can't control it anymore, when they're too old, that we don't have to worry about them blowing stuff up. But
wouldn't it basically be like walking? So if you're too old to walk, you just don't walk anymore. It's not like you're
I see what you mean, the body wouldn't... That's what we
it.
don't know. It's still... Okay. Exactly. Will it be like walking, where, you are too old, too tired to walk anymore, so you don't? But because it's something in the brain, we don't know, maybe you can't walk around anymore, but you still can make rocks explode. Because that's the simplest thing. That's the problem with it.
Okay.
Well, not the problem, but the concern with it is that explosive, humongous things are really easy to do. They're the first things you do. So if it proceeds in that way, that as you get older, that you can only do the basic things, but the basic things are really dangerous.
Fair enough. Yeah. But basically, if you could move that lava lamp over there.
Yeah, I could move the bubbles within the lava lamp.
It's
pretty fun. Yeah, check it out. So it's a regular lava lamp. You've got the bits describing this in audio for listeners,
smart.
Of course.
Sorry, I forgot.
So it's a regular lava lamp. You've got the big bubbles coming up through the goo. Okay, but now check this out. That one that's coming up now, it's about in the middle. Mm-hmm. First, I'm going to divide it vertically.
Yeah, I see it.
Now horizontally. Now diagonally. We've got 8 little blocks. And now they're merging back together. But
okay,
it's pretty fun. And that's pretty...
You did that, or the lava lamp did that?
That would be handy. I'm just waving my hand. It's a remote control for the lava lamp. No. I was using my...
No, move the lava lamp.
I thought you just wanted the bubbles. I was showing the fine grain stuff, the detail.
No, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't the lava lamp itself.
I see, because that's the kind of thing you could remote control. Yeah, sure. Turn it around. I'm doing gestures without sounds. So check it out. Pick it up in the air, move it over there, turn it upside down. The cable's getting a bit tangled, so let me untangle it.
Okay, you got
put it back down on the table. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so too bad this is audio.
Yeah.
Man, this looked amazing.
Well, I tried to paint a word picture there.
Yeah, that's good. I think you did a really good job of explaining what was going on. And I can confirm, it was quite impressive. Mm-hmm. I can imagine, next time we have the Congo running, producing some new food, we don't necessarily need to get up. Or you're not really supposed to basically...
you're at home with friends, you can do as you like, yeah.
Okay.
It's, I guess it's partly also, not given, I guess, as I've been trained, as I've been taught, it's partly a discipline thing, yeah? You go around using it for everything. So some people, this is a thing without telekinesis, this is a thing with like home automation, that you can just stay in your bed and have everything brought to you, you know? And even have your waste taken away if that's a thing. I don't know about that, but crisp packets, whatever. And you never need to leave your bed. The downside of that is your body you got the cyborg chip kind of helping you out, but still it's not a great way to live. So with telekinetic powers, it's similar, you can use them for all kinds of things, but it's good practice not to use them for trivial things. At the same time, to practice them, I need to do really fine-grained stuff. So I do things which maybe aren't so useful. It's like, there's a crumb on the opposite side of the table. I don't get up to get a cloth to wipe it. I use my mind powers to move it. Because a crumb, it's a very delicate crumb. I don't want to crush it or break it and make more crumbs. No, I want to pick it like a cookie crumb, I want to keep it whole, carry it over to the bin with my mind.
I can just imagine if you have an ant walking up your wall looking for something that you can basically...
Feed it a crumb.
Feed it a crumb. Cool.
Help it out.
Help the ant. It actually is an interesting bridge to one thing that I wanted to bring up. You just mentioned the Cyborg chip. Did you hear the news about the Avatar app from Ali?
No, I didn't hear.
I was reading it this morning. It's a rumor that it is using alien technology.
To make the avatars?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest...
Or to make people make their avatars?
I just scanned the headlines, but it popped up several times. Like, rumor, alien technology used in the latest update for the Avatar.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not so unusual, is it? Like taking
alien
technology?
But they're trying to control that because they have no idea what it does to us. So far they've not actually released...
tested enough.
No, so far they've not officially released anything. So and of course, like that they are putting it in an app is already like first, that's not really supposed to be the case. And B, where did they get that?
Sure.
So that if that's actually, I mean, I just skimmed the headlines, but if that's actually the case, I will probably hear about it at work.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway, that's actually everything for now. At least as far as telekinesis is concerned, I would say.
Yeah. I can say, obviously, so listeners, if you have any questions, feel free to write them to michaellasagna5@gmail.com. Let us know.
Exactly. And then I would say that's it for today. Thanks for listening and see you in 200 years.
Bye-bye.